Hi, I'm Sean Reardon, Mayor of Newburyport, and welcome to the latest edition of the Mayor's Corner. You know, we've had a lot of rain on these weekends, right? And it looks like we have some more rain coming up this weekend. And I don't know how many it's been in a row, but it's more than I feel comfortable counting. So, again, you got to enjoy the good days when they're here. And we've got a beautiful day here in Newburyport. It does look like maybe next week we finally break this pattern of rain on the weekends, but I don't want to jinx it, so we'll see. But in any case, I hope everyone's doing great. There's a lot going on in the city, so let's talk about it. We're still in the middle of budget season, right? So our FY26 budget and our capital improvement plan are still in City Council. They have, I believe, one more night of budget hearings left. I think that's tomorrow on Thursday. Again, those start at 6 o'clock here at City Hall. I think what they have left is water and sewer for DPS, and then the planning department. I believe that is on Thursday. And then on Wednesday, June 18th, they have a special meeting set up starting at 6 o'clock here at City Hall where they will vote on the budget. Now, this meeting could be anything. And I don't know how City Council will handle budget this year. Last year, like I've talked about in the past, the budget passed 6-5, so 5 people voted against it, 6 people voted for it. But there wasn't one budget amendment proposed, which is very unusual. So it was a very quick meeting. I don't think that's going to be the case this year. I think there are going to be many amendments. I think there's going to be a lot of discussion as we go through the budget. As I've said before, I think this is a really reasonable budget and a very lean budget for a very tight year. Financially, again, it's a 3.6% increase. Most of that 3.6% is driven by the increase to health insurance, which was 14.8%, right? About 1.6 million added to your budget, and so really the over last year, it's just about a 1.8% increase over last year's budget, which I would say is pretty modest. So I'm not sure how the budget conversation will go. If you'd like to come and check it out, again, it's next Wednesday, the 18th at 6 o'clock here at City Hall. Capital improvement plan, same thing. Now the capital improvement plan is interesting because this was what was voted down last year by the City Council. I actually think it was a tie vote, but we went back to the drawing board and came up with a brand new capital improvement plan that really scores each project, all right? And so we prioritized the project due to the scores. Now, some will say that we're pulling projects away or off, right? For example, I got an email today about the water projects, and we have some heavy-duty water projects in our pipeline. But people, I think, need to understand that those projects we've been already working on for years, and these projects take years and millions of dollars to plan, all right, to get to a point where you're shovel ready, and then you're talking about a $7 million project, a $20 million project. There's different phases of the project. So I hope people understand is that just because you don't see construction happening in those 5 years, and for example, I'll say our PFAS water treatment plant facility project and our Indian Hill project, those will still be worked on these next 5 years. If you look in the plan, you'll see that there is money being allocated to continue the design of those projects, right? And the idea is that, for those projects to take place, you're going to need some heavy-duty funds, not just from Newburyport, but from our federal and state partners as well. Right now, that money is not trickling down to local communities. So our hope is that we can continue to keep planning for these projects and designing them. And then when they're shovel ready, hopefully those monies will be available then, and then we can make some plans to move forward with those projects. But I do think this narrative that we're putting projects off till 2030 is not accurate. We are still planning and putting a lot of work into those projects. It's just we don't envision construction happening in the next 5 years. And I think, to me, what I wanted to put out publicly is what are we realistically looking at for projects in the next 5 years? And that's where we landed. So we'll see where the City Council discussion goes. But again, that is just a plan. Nothing in there, even if it's voted yes or no on next Wednesday, nothing in that plan means like it's going to happen that way, right? It is just a plan that we have to have in place, but it doesn't mean like those things are absolutely going to happen when we think we're going to have them. A lot of that is contingent upon when those projects are ready and when those funding sources are ready. But at the end of the day, it's just a planning document for us. So that's our capital improvement plan. We did have some pretty big news that I announced last Friday, and that is that our Department of Public Services Director, Wayne Amaral, is leaving. He is leaving Newburyport. He took a job in Salem, New Hampshire as their public works director, so DPW up in Salem, New Hampshire. And it's a huge loss for the city. You know, Wayne came on board a little over 2 years ago now. I think it was like in the spring, right before budget, a spring a couple years ago, so in 2023. And he's done a fabulous job with that department. You know, we brought on Wayne, we brought on a new deputy director in John Carey. He's really built a great team there. We've got some great work done. He dove right into my streets and sidewalk plan and put his own spin on it. So I think he's leaving us in good shape. You know, I never begrudge people who see other opportunities and want to go from them in other municipalities. But Wayne's going to be, you know, very missed. I mean, he was really great to work with, and he was really great to work with all the other departments as well. DPS is such a big department and touches so many different departments in the city, and Wayne was the perfect conduit for his department, and then collaborating with the other departments in the city. So it's going to be a big loss. We've posted the position. I think Wayne's even going to try to help us find our next director before he leaves. So hopefully we'll have interviews starting soon. But that job is posted, and hopefully we'll get some great candidates. I do think what's great about Newburyport, and one of the best parts of my job, is bringing talented people to Newburyport to work. And unfortunately, when you do that, when you bring in talented people, they're always going to have other opportunities to go elsewhere, because people are seeing the success and the things that we are doing right here in Newburyport. They are attractive candidates elsewhere. But that's my job, is to try to keep them, and then when they decide to move on, if they do, bring in that next talent who can take Newburyport to the next level. So we're looking forward to that. And again, thank you, Wayne. Wayne's going to be here till the end of the month. I think he'll be here till July 3rd. So again, we've still got a few more weeks of Wayne, and he would love to hear from you if you want to give him some well wishes before he goes. What else? And we do have a health director search going on as well. There's going to be interviews on Monday, and how that process works is we have 3 finalists for that job. The Board of Health is going to conduct those interviews. I am not technically a part of the Board of the Health, so I don't get a vote in who the next health director will be, but I do get to participate in the interviews, as well as our HR director, Donna Drellick. So we're looking forward to that Monday. We have 3 good candidates, and we look forward to seeing what the Board of Health thinks of them. What else is going on? We had a great ribbon cutting yesterday for the new tennis courts down the Knock. We've had a lot of good projects going on around the city, particularly the last 3 years, but there are some finishing up right now. Those tennis courts came not long after. So when I first took office, you know, we were just doing the 2 courts down there at the middle school, redoing the 2 courts that were there, and then the idea was, all right, let's get our tennis complex in place. There's space down there for 3. Let's move ahead and try to do that. So we had some dedicated residents, part of the Newburyport Friends of Newburyport Tennis, come forward. They actually raised money to get the design work going early on that project, and what that allowed us to do was get this project done more timely with the use of Community Preservation Act funds. So thank you, CPC, for approving that project. But by having that design done and started, we were able to jump right in, and now we get those courts done right before summer. They're already getting an incredible amount of use, and you know, we finally have that 5-court complex that we have that we really needed for the schools so they can host tournaments. But tennis is just big right now. You look at the numbers of kids going out for tennis, you go by the local tennis club and seeing how busy it is. That's going to be a great addition to Newburyport, and we're really excited to do that. You know, my dad's a former boys and girls tennis coach here in Newburyport. I grew up watching him play at the racket club, you know, most of my life. It was just such a big part of my family growing up, tennis. And you know, it's nice seeing this come all together for the next generation of tennis players here in Newburyport. What else is going on? Let's talk about the Pink House. So you know, the Pink House may be gone, but the Friends of the Pink House is keeping that memory alive. You know, the Pink House turned 100 this past year, so they're having a public art fair on Saturday at Peter Hall from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. if you want to stop by. Governor Healy's going to be there at 3 o'clock for a special birthday cake for the Pink House. So I'm going to try to get down there. Hats off to the Pink House people, keeping the memory of the Pink House alive and what it meant to so many in this area. The NEF, the Newburyport Education Foundation, had their Ed Awards last night. I was able to attend. You know, the NEF has raised over $5.5 million for our schools since its inception, which is just a crazy number. And they've got their hands in so many unique things to Newburyport Public Schools, like the investment club, like the chess club, like the new video production area that they're building in the basement of the high school. Sailbot has been funded by the NEF since 2013. They're in their competition right now. They've won back-to-back competitions in the Sailbot competition, where you've got to construct a boat and it's got to work. It's a real engineering technology project. They've won back-to-back years. They compete against colleges as well, and that they're in the middle of their going for their three-peat right now out in Worcester at Lake Quinsimmon. I don't know. It's a lake in Worcester, but that's where they're competing this week. So good luck to the Sailbot, and thank you, NEF. Great awards last night. Great individuals recognized, like the Rotary Club. They do a lot of good things here in Newburyport too. And finally, I just want to say we've got one state championship possibility this spring, and it's the girls lacrosse team. They're the second seed in the state tournament. They're in the Final Four, and they're playing Bedford today in Swampscott at Phillips Park at 4:30. So good luck, lacrosse, girls lacrosse. I hope next week I can say they're in the finals or they just won the finals, but they're so close. They've got a fantastic team, a lot of good seniors on that team too, where this is their last hurrah before they move on to college. So good luck, Clippers. And I hope I see all of you next time on the Mayor's Corner.